You know that Rennie Russi song where she goes,
Do that shit, do that shit, do that shit.
yeah, you need to do that.
You're too blind, I'm too bad, you too fine. Whole team up, fucked it up, the money coming. Bitch glued up now, look who I'm becoming. These days I can tell I'm running or I'm running. Coming from the block, set it up, get it jumping.
Hey y'all, it's Shwalina. As you can see by the intro, this is about doing your own thing because somebody's gonna be mad regardless. You're here because you're hesitant to do something, you're hesitant to be bold and beautiful, you're hesitant to fully shine your light because you don't want to upset someone or you think someone's gonna feel some type of way because you're doing your own thing. Well, listen here. Somebody's gonna be mad regardless of what you do, no matter what you say, how you dress, how you act. Somebody's not going to be pleased with it. So you might as well go and do what you want because somebody is not going to like it. And we're going to go more in on that in this video right now. Let's go.
I see.
So here we are. So here's the first hard pill you got to swallow. You're always going to be the villain in someone's story. You can be the nicest, sweetest, kindest person, or so you think, and you're still gonna be the villain in someone's story. And sometimes it's because they couldn't manipulate you anymore. Sometimes it's because you set a boundary with them. Just know you're gonna be a villain, and you cannot make everyone happy. The faster you accept that, the faster you will find yourself in liberation, because you're not trying to please every person in the world. Because if you're trying to put everybody else first but yourself, you're gonna realize your cup's empty. What do you do with an empty cup? There's no water in it. You can't hydrate or refresh yourself because it's in everyone else's cup. And you notice how there's some people, when you're like, hey, can you pour some into my cup now? They're gone. Where are they? They don't care. They don't care about you. Some people are users. Some are takers. Some people, if you don't have boundaries, they'll just take. But the instant you put a stop, you're the villain. So you just need to understand that sometimes you gotta be the villain. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit mean because a lot of people will be committed to, I want to be seen as a good person, I'm a good person, I'm a good person, I'm a good person. But guess what? These people didn't get to have their way with you, so you're not a good person to them. And you just have to accept that and deal with it. You're not going to be a good person to everyone. As long as you know who you are, as long as God knows who you are, as long as your family and friends know who you are, that's really everyone that matters. Who cares? And that's one thing, like you just have to start letting go of the opinions of others, of really giving value to opinions that don't matter. Because it really should just be you and God, to be honest, or whatever you believe in. By the way, if you see me looking down here, I'm looking at the notes on my laptop. But anyways, the next point I wanted to go to is if somebody is committed to disliking you, nothing you do is ever going to be right. There's going to be a problem in every little thing you do because your presence already irritates their soul. So if you can think of like little situations or mishaps that seem to blow out of proportion for no reason, like they just got really out of control and you don't even know what happened, it's usually because of that. That's somebody that's choosing drama. That's somebody who is choosing to be irritated and unhappiness because they don't have a direct outlet of communicating their feelings. That's like the most direct outlet they have, being able to blow situations like this out of proportion. So you have to be really wise and notice how smaller situations are handled because it can be an indicator of someone's true feelings underneath the surface. I feel like as long as you understand those two main things, that you're always going to be the villain in someone's story, and if someone dislikes you, they're going to find a problem in any little thing you do, I feel like you're already on track to liberating yourself once more. Like you're on that track to liberation and understanding that your true purpose in life is not to make everyone happy. Alright, so you're getting it now, right? Like somebody's always gonna be mad. So now what? Well, you came to the perfect place. Let me show you what you can do.
I see.
So there's a lot of fun things that you can do. You hold a lot of power in your hands when you don't really care who you're making mad. So here's the first thing. Learn to set boundaries. So this is something I really want to do a separate video on, and I'm still working on myself to mold and cultivate and help y'all with that. But I still feel like it's such an important point to bring up, because boundaries are really great tools in dealing with people you love and people you don't love as much. So I'm just gonna do a brief guide on basically what I do. And when I get around to doing the boundaries video, it'll probably be reminiscent of this. But essentially what I do to figure out my boundaries is I sit down with myself. I take the time to journal and reflect on situations, and sometimes I'll notice that there's something that happened that I didn't like, and sometimes that can inch into a boundary, like that can become a boundary. And I will say, in real life, you oftentimes know when a boundary has been crossed, because my body personally reacts when a boundary has been crossed. Like, I feel hot all over. I feel like irritated, aggravated. So usually you can tell when a boundary of yours has been crossed. So I like to divide boundaries into a few categories. So I'm pulling up my boundary list right now, in fact. So I have hard boundaries, wherein if you do this, the relationship is instantly terminated. There's no coming back. And this is for stuff that's really bad. This is for stuff that's... They're doing a lot on the highway. So I'm trying to speak as much over it as I can. But they just like doing a lot on this highway. But anyways, hard boundaries. If you do this, the relationship is instantly terminated. There is no coming back from it. Like, we can never be on the same level of friendship again. Honestly, it would be preferable. Oh my God. Preferable. Yeah, it would be preferable if I just never see you again. You don't exist anymore. But I would imagine that could also mean demotions. So it's like common sense stuff that anybody who does it definitely knew what they were doing. So for example, one of my really hard boundaries is lying to me. Like, if you lie to my face and I figure out you were lying to my face about something really serious, we can't come back from that. As I've stated in Is It Time to Cut Off Your Friend, whatever that video was called, relationships are based on trust, and if you don't have that, there's no relationship really. So if I feel like I can't trust you, I can't trust the words you're saying, the words coming out of your mouth, there's not much of a relationship there. So it just has to be done. And a common boundary a lot of people have, hard boundary, is cheating. If you cheat, and whatever that means for every individual, the relationship is done. So next on my boundary list is I have regular boundaries, and I put here, do these and I will call you out. And depending on the response, it's either I'll keep an eye on you, or I'm gonna demote you maybe the relationship will be terminated. So one of the things I put is trying to use me, whether it's trying to use me to get closer to somebody I know, using me for resources, using me because I can put you on, stuff like that. If I figure that out, you're gonna get called out. And then I have soft boundaries, which they're basically more applicable to strangers, co-workers. If you're a friend, I'm probably not gonna freak out as much, but I might comment on it. I may or may not comment on it. So that's essentially how I have my boundaries organized. I recommend that y'all do something similar, figure something out like that. And I feel like boundaries, they're not always easy to figure out, but you can usually tell when they're crossed. I feel like the hardest part about boundaries is just simply speaking up, because a lot of us as children freely spoke, and children are very good at setting boundaries. Children will let you know, I don't want to be hugged, I don't like this, I don't like that. But we're often shut down by caretakers in our lives because, children need to be obedient, but in turn, now we don't really know how to always shut that down. So it's really a practice, and you just have to keep doing it, and I feel like it gets easier every time you do it. And really, it starts with just being able to say no without over-explaining yourself, overextending yourself. This is becoming a bad video. Yeah. I don't hate it. So some people will get mad when they don't have as easy access to your life, hence somebody's gonna be mad regardless. But let them be mad and let them show themselves. Let them show their true colors. Let them show themselves. Boundaries are really powerful and a very effective method of vetting through people and seeing into their hearts their true intentions of the presence of you in their lives. And once again, that's why I feel like people are afraid of boundaries, because they hold so much power, and they could instantly end a relationship. They can instantly end a relationship you thought was solid. So that's why you need to enforce them. They're a good tool. They're there to help you. People that actually love you are not going to get mad about your boundaries instead. So do it. Get some boundaries. All right, next step. This one's about to make a lot of people mad, but it's putting yourself first. Yeah. That goes hand in hand with the boundaries. Hand in hand with the boundaries. Because boundaries involve protecting your emotional and mental states. And putting yourself first could be a boundary for you. As in, I need to have alone time first before I hang out with someone on the weekend. Like, I need to have my afternoon tea. I need to have my meditation session before I answer the phone. That's putting yourself first. And as previously stated, people who once had easy access, people that always had you doting on them, people that could always rely on you to show up and show out for them. And mind you, these people are not showing up and out for you. When all of a sudden they don't have all that, they feel some type of way because they used to be able to have that access to you. But now that you're putting yourself first, they're not happy about that. Not everybody's going to be happy when you start putting yourself first, you'll realize. And you'll realize it's the people that don't really matter that are going to be those characters. It's usually the users, the manipulators. It's usually people you realize, oh, I don't want you like that. And it does suck, honestly. I feel like losing a relationship sucks regardless. Even if the person sucks because that's the end. But putting yourself first is also a good way. I feel like they go hand in hand. Duh. But yeah, it's something to think about. It's something you need to start doing. Because, people love bringing up the air mask on the airplane because it's true. Because what good is it if you pass out and you can't help nobody else? It's not. So you got to stop overextending yourself. Especially the people that don't be doing anything for you in return. And I'm not saying start counting favors, but I'm just saying start looking and seeing who disappears on you the instant you need help, but you've always consistently shown up for. And those are people you need to fall back a bit more on and see how they react to that. Because some people actually get really upset. They get really nasty when they realize they don't have their little Bob the Builder helper person around them all the time. Entitlement. So this is addressed in the I don't care if other people don't like me and you shouldn't either video. But essentially, if people are accusing you of a character you don't have, if people are upset, feel some type of way because of something you did, and they're starting to say you do this, you're this, please just let them talk, okay? Like, if someone's that committed to that way of thinking, don't stand there and argue and try to change their mind. Don't do the back and forth for nothing. Like, trust me, like, if somebody's committed to being stupid, you can't put the brain cells in them, okay? Alright, it's not your job. Like, don't argue about your existence. Don't argue about your character. Don't argue about your feelings. Especially, like, once it becomes an argument rather than a discussion, that's when you need to put an end to it. But if somebody's like If somebody who truly knew you is saying you're this, you're that, it's probably not somebody worth arguing with. Just know that. As I said before, you know who you are. God knows who you are. Your family knows who you are. Your friends know who you are. So why do you care if a friend of a friend of a friend doesn't seem to know who you are? You don't care. You don't care anymore. Okay? You don't care anymore. Done. Like, one mistake I made was I was continuously trying to correct people when they are already fixated in what they think. There's no point. Just go get a bag, go make some good memories, and go hang out with the people who know who you are. Okay? Y'all got it? Okay. Next point. All right. Here's my next point. Don't wait on people. Okay. Did you hear that? Don't wait on people. This is for y'all who are afraid to eat in restaurants alone. Don't wait on other people to have a good time, okay? If you have something you want to do, something you want to see, something you want to make, go and do it. Like, I'm saying this is for people who put out feelers and invitations, they ask around, and people are, I don't know. If you want to voyage somewhere, go. I know security is a thing, and that might be why you're waiting, security and safety, but I would say overall, if it's something like you want to go to an event and you can't find it, just go and enjoy it on your own. You got to learn to enjoy things on your own, and you can't always rely upon other people to want to experience the same things that you do. You just got to go and do it. You know, like what Reni Russi said, what she said. Do that shit, 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 do it. Yeah. Anyways, you just have to learn how to shine bright and do your thing, because somebody's not going to be happy with what you do. So go and start dressing up. Start dressing up the way you want. Go get that hairstyle. Go in that career path. Go take that class. Go ask that person out. Somebody's not going to be pleased, regardless. So just live your life. You're not living your life for anybody else. So why are we so stressed? I feel like I helped y'all out a lot. So go make people mad. And go end some relationships right now on this phone. Block them right now on your phone. Block them on Instagram. Block them on Snapchat. I don't know who has Snapchat anymore. Block them on Snapchat. Just block them. Block them on Spotify. Did you know you can block people on Spotify now? Just go and do it. Go and do it. Go do your thing. I'm gonna go do my thing now. Bye. Promises, but I'm between doing a video on how to better my intuition or boundaries next. But I gave like a lot of information on boundaries here. Would y'all want to hear more in-depth stuff on setting boundaries? Let me know. Bye for real. Sunset check. It's beautiful, right?